All right. We've got a few things to cover, so we're going to go until finish it off by energy for the final part of the day. I'm just going to blast through these now. If you've asked the question, I'll ask you some more context. So just practice on these, yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone happy? Everyone cool?
Cool.
Good. So graduation, this was in reference to sets becoming closers, correct? Who asked the question specifically? Yeah, so everything, you've got to view your setting process as like the training ground for a potential closer in the future, right? Because how they act in the DMs on these calls is exactly how they're going to act when they're actually closing calls in the future, right? And the natural progression is setter, get really good at setting and setting good quality appointments and go straight to a closer. So you should view this natural progression with your company. They start as a setter, they get really good at it, they learn the ropes, and then they naturally go into a closing position. Because if they understand exactly like the target market they're going to be selling, they understand exactly what makes them tick, then their transition to a closer is just going to be so easy. We found like some of our best closers came from a setting background, right? So yeah, I try and incentivize this in every way, shape, or form, right? Any other questions on that? It's pretty straightforward, right? Cool. Assessing skill, again, this is all down to the system, right? So if your system's good, a setter does not necessarily need to be talented. The good way to find out about their skill is just by reviewing every single set, because the quality of the set will tell you exactly how good they are at actually operating that system, right? So if they're doing calls, you listen to every single call. If they're setting appointments in the DMs, you look at every single conversation that's been had. How good was the sets that came out the other end? And if the set is good quality, then their skill level is going to be good. Okay, most of this comes from just reviewing and controlling inputs, right? It's relatively straightforward. Any other questions on assessing skill? Because the metrics will tell you everything. Just look at the metrics and then they'll tell you how good that setter is performing. Split testing. I can't remember exactly what this one was in reference to.
I think we've covered this already, yeah.
Yep. Hiring the setter manager, this is literally just your best performing setter, right? So your setter manager is the person who comes on board, takes complete initiative and just completely crushes it with setting appointments, right? And you'll be able to tell because they'll be asking you, can I try this platform? Can I maybe get some extra accounts here? If they're showing initiative and they're showing that they can manage the team and they're starting to lead the team, they're starting to help other setters out with support, then naturally they'll move into that setter manager position. I'd never really hire externally for a setter manager. It's always going to be your top performing setter. It's as simple as that.
Okay. And are they just managing, or are they also setting? Or are they also setting at the same time?
So there'll be a bit of a transition period. Okay. So at the start, when you first given them added responsibility, you'll say, hey, can you just help this person out with this call review? Right? Can you help this person out with this question? You'll get them to actively start managing the team while you're still managing the team, right? They'll still be setting appointments. Then they'll transition to actually officially being the head setter. You'll pay them the online commission on the set appointments. Mm-hmm. At that point, the natural graduation is for them to start managing your profiles, okay? Because your profiles are going to have a very high conversion rate, and that's the natural progression. They'll stop the outbound and they'll cover more of the inbound and then manage the team. And then there'll be a straight cut where they're just purely managing the team. They're building new systems, testing new things, and they're really just scaling the team with the best interest.
And would they also be in charge of like creating like resources and lead magnets and like testing those out to see how, okay.
Yeah. You'll be giving them the very high leverage activities within the setting process.
Got it.
Yeah. Cool. Managing the setter manager, this is all done in the hiring process, right? Because if they're a good quality setter, and then you give them the added responsibility, there's not really much managing. Okay, the only thing that we did with me and Charlie when I was the head setter was just one weekly call, make sure the ship is sailing in the correct direction. If appointments are going up, the team is scaling and the conversion rate is good, that's all the management that you need to do as you know, the CEO of the company, right? Cool. Content, this is a strange one for outbound because it's not really that needed if you're purely doing an outbound setting team. But content is something that outbound prospects will just use to verify whether or not the account is operated by a real person, okay? If you're posting content, they'll look at the account and be like, yeah, this is a real person, I'm happy to reply to it, okay? That's all you really need to do for outbound. Just post it, make yourself look real so they can verify you're a real person.
Okay.
We do this with the YouTube videos. So we just basically get everyone. Do we still do this? I think where we get them to post a YouTube video on the profiles.
Yeah. You'll post the YouTube videos. So, for example, all of our setters post Charlie's YouTube content.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yep.
Natively or linked out?
Just as a link.
What, any reason why that's native?
So Charlie's channel gets more views. It's as simple as that. 'Cause if they
Just
watch it
puts
on,
them in, they post them in the ecosystem because then they receive ads and then they're in the machine at that point.
yeah. The onboarding SOP kind of falls in line with the SOP hub, right? So when you're building your setting team, there's really like 3 main stages, okay? You're getting the proof of concept to start, where you're building your system that's going to facilitate scale, right? And in that stage, all you're doing is just building a system that's going to work effectively, right? The second stage, after the proof of concept, is the foundations, okay? And in the foundation stage, you'll hire one setter and start building out an SOP hub. Now, the SOP hub needs to teach that setter about every action that they'll be doing on a daily basis, right? So if you have your setter lead sourcing, there needs to be full SOPs on exactly how to source leads. The messaging needs to be filled out in a proper hub, exactly what the scripts look like, how to track metrics, exactly how to, just operate the whole system. And then the only other thing for the SOP hub is just how to get paid, how to track appointments.
And how often do you update this SOP?
It's an ongoing thing, right? So because obviously you should still be managing the system or running the system in some way, shape, or form. The minute there's an update, it's crucial that you update that SOP hub as well.
Okay, so really, okay.
It's like creating like course content. There's always going to be a V1 of the SOP hub, then a V2, then a V3, then a V4. You'll just add things as and when you need them. If, for example, if you add another platform, you'll just add new SOPs, for example, like Facebook, and you run through everything on there. I'm happy to share the SOP hub with you that we use internally. I think, Thibaut, you've already got it.
Yep.
I'll share that with you guys, and you can look at it. Okay?
No. You make a note?
Script writing. Who asked that question? Yep.
Yeah. How do you?
This is what we talked about earlier, man, where it's your understanding of the market and your understanding of psychology.
So it's basically like ad writing, just for outbound.
Yeah, pretty much.
The
What,
main-
what kind of writing?
Sorry?
Ad writing.
Like ad copy.
Yeah, I mean pretty much.
Okay, yeah, then if it's the same process, then questions start.
Yeah, well, it's just stimuli. It's the same thing. It doesn't really matter if it's a cold calling script or an ad or a VSL. Like, you just think about the market and think about the psychology, and you should arrive at an adequate script. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it was what we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. The main things for script writing is like mention the problem they're facing and solve it with your offer. If you're nailing those 2 things, it can't go wrong, because people get so caught up with like copywriting, but truthfully what I found, it doesn't really matter what you're saying. It matters what you're offering them, right? Because if you can reach out to someone and offer to fix something they don't even really know they're facing, then it's immediately going to be interested. It doesn't matter how you deliver that, as long as they understand that that's there, right? Cool. R&D hub, I'm going to bring that up on the screen when Nor's found it on the back end, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like for just tracking R&D tests and how we split test stuff on the back end. Lead sourcing, this is a huge one. And it's very, very niche dependent and market dependent.
I think with the lead sourcing stuff, just watching Easy Grow lead sourcing videos is the best thing to do.
Because if I tried to explain lead sourcing, we'd be here for 6 hours and I'd probably bore you all to death. So yeah, just watch Easy Grow.
Where's the video? In which module?
For lead sourcing,
Yeah.
it's in the individual module. So if it's for cold DM, it will be in DM Sorcery. If it's a cold email, it'll be in one of the email systems. If it's for cold calling or cold SMS, it'll be in the SMS or cold call modules. Yeah.
Okay.
LinkedIn accounts, we've kind of covered this. The structure, how many you can have and how you should rent them. Just use mirror profiles. That's what's working the best for us right now.
One more question on that is, could you plug in? You can automate your connection requests, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
plug in first message?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Any media?
Depends what automation software you're using.
So that doesn't.
That is just
That's just renting the profile.
That's just to
it.
rent the profile. Once you've got access to the profile, you can plug in your automation software to that profile, and that can automate everything else on the back end that you need to do. Okay?
Yeah.
The R&D hub. So this is what we use to do all of our internal testing. If you go to like the bottom, quickly go and test for Terminator Loom, test TL. This is how we just track all the back end, like all the testing stuff. So we run a system, we look at the metrics very objectively. One thing we don't do is book these people in, so we're mainly looking at positive reply rate and like Loom view rate and things like this. For every split test you do, you just track the data on it and see whether or not it succeeded. And we have one of these for every single system in the course. So for Loomless, bulk order Loom, the SMS system, like we have all of this in here, nice and created so that we can look at the metrics objectively, right?
So you don't track the date specific for like these kind of tests, you just look at overall?
Just overall.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just overall, and like we're just testing random things here, so the metrics are horrible, but we're just testing like brand new things, and sometimes they don't work. Nor, could you quickly click on one of the test results in the column next to succeeded? So every single time we do a test, I have one of these documents here that has the script we were using, and then I'll just write at the bottom exactly what the observation was for it, how well it worked. And then we'll look back on this over time and say this one works good, we'll put it in the course. If it doesn't work, we don't put it in the course.
Who does fill in these sheets?
So I've got a research and development assistant who manages all of this. His main job is like creating email accounts, testing copy, and then I analyze the data and decide whether or not it succeeded or not. Okay.
What's your like standard for putting it in the program?
1,000 emails sent, at least a 10% Loom view rate, and like 1 to 5 to 2% positive reply rate, and I'll put it in.
Okay.
It just needs a proof of concept, because these leads we use aren't amazing. Yeah.
And do you have it for DM sorcery?
Yeah, not for DM source because I use the setters trackers for that. But we have it for everything else. Like we're testing SMS right now, and we've got like a 12% positive reply rate. And that's just, yeah, SMS test is just absolutely crushing it for us, yeah. This is really good. Cold SMS is just banging for us at the moment. So that's the R&D hub. Any questions on that? No? Cool.
How many tests are you doing a month?
We like to do one to two tests for every system.
Okay.
If we wanted to do more, you'd need more accounts, but right now we're sending like 500 emails, 200 SMSs per day, so yeah.
Are you sending the SMS to like agency owners as well?
Coaches.
Where are you getting those phone numbers?
LinkedIn. So if you use LinkedIn, right, go to LinkedIn and use an enrichment platform like LeadRocks or Clay, you can just enrich LinkedIn profiles and get phone numbers, and that absolutely crushes it. We're getting, as I said, like a 12% reply rate, positive reply rate on it.
The replies are like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. No, overall it's like a 40% reply rate, but 40%
Really?
of them are like just F off. Who are you? Leave me alone. But some of them are good.
Okay.
But I was at outside Charlie's house the other night, and one of the leads just called me on my personal phone because I forgot to turn off the automation from Go High Level, so they just called me asking to book in.
Huh.
So yeah, it works really well.
Cool.
Okay.
Nor, can you go to the hub? I want to see what you have.
I can share that hub with you if
If
you'd
you can
like.
share that, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share it. Nor, if you can put that down.
With the SMS, firstly, is that in Easy Grow yet?
Yes, I just launched it to the course. Yeah.
Sweet, I'll check it out.
It's really powerful.
And then secondly, would you recommend, so all of ours is from LinkedIn Connections at the minute. Would you recommend Connection get their number, SMS them, or is that a bit creepy? And we should just message them?
No, because like a lot of people think that the more you reach out to people, you're just going to piss them off. But realistically, like the reason someone replies to you is very like daily dependent. Like they might not have had their morning coffee, they might be in a bad mood. Sometimes I reply to cold outbound just because I'm in a good mood. So the more you can hit that one person, one day you'll catch them in a good mood and they'll reply. Plus, it looks like an effortful approach. If you can hit them everywhere, it's like ads. People see Charlie's ad like 10 or 20 times before they sign up.
Yeah.
So you want to almost be like omnipresent in the way that like you've got something that can help this person, hit them fucking everywhere.
Makes sense.
I remember before I found out about Easy Grow, one of your setters, Oscar,
Yeah.
he used to hit me up, and like he was so like professional and just he just always followed up. Like everything was like so in line. I was like, this guy's got his shit together. They must be good at this stuff, and that's what got me originally like chatting to you and whatever else. So
yeah,
I think it's
because with outbound, exactly how you reach out to them is exactly the system they're going to be using when they sign on with you, for most cases. So it's you need to view outbound as your opportunity to demonstrate how good you are at what you do. Right, that's all of it covered. Any other questions or all good? Thank you.
Any other questions on the setting stuff? Cool. Well, what's the time? Yeah, we'll probably call it there, guys. Nearly 5 o'clock. So tomorrow we'll do a little bit of sales. We can either do the what was it on the list? Product and offer evolution, or we can do ops and finance. So we'll decide and discuss that tomorrow. And then what we're going to do for the whole of the afternoon tomorrow is just sort of like a panel Q&A. So what I want you guys to do is just write down any questions you've got, and all of you should have like 7 or 8 each. And then we're just going to let it take its course tomorrow afternoon, and we can have a little bit more of a chilled session. Everybody's happy with that? Cool. All right, guys. Good day.
There's one.
Thank you.